Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a great week. Today I want to expand on the idea of why you shouldn't be seated for the most of the day. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about how movement works. And I want to begin with your elbow joint, right? So if I want to bring my hand towards my shoulder, my biceps needs to contract and my triceps needs to extend. And that's true for every single joint in your body. That's how movement works. Another example, hamstrings and quads. Here we go. Now you can try this with me, right? Try to get your knee at your hips height and try to extend all the way. So full extension. Now, what is happening here? Your quads are contracting and your hamstrings are extending. Now, if you have tight hamstrings or weak hip flexors, you might not be able to extend all the way. You might stop around here, okay? And that affects your movement in your day-to-day life. I'm gonna expand on that very soon. But let's see another example, your upper body now. If you're hunched over all the time, and your chest gets tight, your back gets weak. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, your body will always come back to this position, right? Gravity, it's not in your favor right now. So again, your abs, if you're always in this position, hunched over, your abs get tight, and then your rectus spinae, those back muscles here, they get weak, which will affect your posture. Let's talk about your hip flexor. All right, so your hip flexor is this big muscle that connects your spine to your lower body. You can actually feel it. So try to place your hand right on the hip crease here and raise your knee up. You're gonna feel something popping, yeah? So the opposite muscle, the antagonist of your hip flexor are your glutes. If you're always seated, always in the same position, your hip flexors get tight. Your glutes get weak. So your body cannot use your glute as it should. Same thing here. Same example. If your hamstrings are tight, your quads will not be able to exert its full strength through its full range of motion. Same thing hip flexor. If they are tight, your glute will not be able to exert its full potential. So what will happen? A compensation. Your body is going to have to recruit another muscle to do its job, to do the glute's job. It might be your hamstring, it might be your rectus spinae, but will compensate. And then you begin to overuse muscles that shouldn't be used in the first place. Okay, so as you guys can see here, on the seated position, all these muscles come into play, especially if you have a bad posture. So if you do have tight and weak muscles, gravity is gonna pull your body back to this position, right? So it doesn't matter how hard you try, you're always gonna come back to this position by default. So, and this will always, or it will also affect the way you walk, the way you run, the way you do things. And if you don't take care of those imbalances now, 5, 10, 15 years from now, an injury will occur because you are overusing muscles that shouldn't be used in the first place, right? And that's when injuries happen. So, like I said, injuries will happen if you don't take care of these muscles now. So think about exercise as a way to get rid of those imbalances first. Think about, okay, instead of going to the gym and work on big muscles, apparent muscles that you can actually see, think about those ones that you can't really see. Imagine like this, if you want to build a really tall building, you can build a really tall building with a shit foundation, but eventually that building is going to collapse. Your body is the same thing. So building strength on top of imbalance is going to lead to an injury eventually. So be aware of how you move, of which muscles are tight, which muscles are weak. On the next post, I want to share with you guys exercises that you guys can do at home to get rid of those weak and tight muscles, especially when you're seated. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.